Today, we're joined by Ali Turner, CEO of Surge, a company helping businesses across the country adopt renewable energy solutions through a fully remote team. We talk about clean energy, remote leadership, and what it really takes to build culture and accountability in a distributed company. Hope you enjoy. All right, welcome back, everybody. Today, I'm joined by Ali Turner, CEO of Surge, a platform that helps businesses and institutions adopt renewable energy solutions. We will talk about that in just a minute. But Ali, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Absolutely. Super excited to be here. Thanks.
Yeah, we're happy to have you here. I've been talking to you in Rome for a while. You and your team are great. I think you've been on for a little bit over a year now, maybe even more, honestly. For people who are listening and don't know much about Surge, tell me a little bit about the company, what you do, and sort of the big vision behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Surge is a clean energy development firm. We help commercial, industrial, and some agricultural property owners adopt clean energy. So our bread and butter is really going to be solar storage. We're moving into the EV charging space, just any energy technologies that are better for the planet and also have a significant ROI for our clients. And essentially, our goal is to reduce their electricity costs and at the same time get them on the clean grid, right? Because obviously, our power needs in this country are rapidly increasing. At first it was blockchain, now it's EVs, and the newest thing is, of course, AI. So it's only going up from here, and the more that we can support that transition in a clean and renewable way, the better.
Yeah. That's awesome. Great mission. And my follow up to that was: is this something that you've sort of always followed along with? Is this something you have like a personal attachment to? Like, how'd you get involved in this space? How does one get involved in this space in general?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's a unique industry because it's highly regulated. It's an energy space, it's a utility space. So, the best sort of example of an industry that grew significantly before clean energy came along would be oil and gas, right? So there are a lot of barriers to entry. It is very complex and very nuanced, but it's also a beautiful industry in so many ways. There's so many amazing people. We're able to have a really positive impact through the work that we do. And it's really sort of like a win 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 situation, unlike a lot of industries where when one party wins, another loses. So that feels really good that we're able to have positive impact on all fronts. I had a background in marketing and advertising, um, and just decided to apply that to an industry that I could stand behind, right? Like anybody can market anything, but
True.
uh, if you've got the skills and you've got the passion, you're going to have a lot more success marketing whatever it is that you're marketing. So I had to kind of do some soul searching on the front end and decide where do I want to put my time and energy. And it turned out it was energy, right? It was the best path forward for me. So feel fortunate in that regard.
That's awesome. Now let's pivot internally to the team and how it's structured a little bit. Remote first team. Talk to me about generally where everybody's located, how the team is structured. What does that all look like?
Yeah, it's a great question. And, thankfully we have Rome to keep us in line, but we are a fully remote team. So we have our internal leadership team. I'm based in Iowa. Two of my directors are based in Colorado in the Denver area, the greater Denver area. Another team member is based out in DC. And then we have an advisor based in LA. And of course, we have plenty of VAs based all around the country and around the planet, actually. So really a global team in that sense. And then our sales organization is nationwide. We're active in
Mhm.
42 states. We have partners in 42 states to fulfill the projects that we develop, literally like install and construct projects. And then we have vendors and finance partners, again, all over the country, and even some based out of Europe as well. So, being so remote and so distributed, we were using a bunch of different tools to try to facilitate teamwork. And that's where Rome really came in and swept us off our feet, you could say. And we have meetings all the time with clients, with partners, with vendors, with salespeople. We also host our sales training sessions in Rome, which has been a game changer for us because we automatically get the AI summary. We can record the meeting. People can raise their hands and ask questions, and send emojis when they like something. So the features for sort of drumming up energy and motivation in a sales environment are just excellent. So, yeah, we're really kind of using it for everything, and it's made our remote work a lot easier.
I love that you touched on the remojis. Those tend to be people's, favorites. If I had one on this meeting right now, I'd give you, the round of applause or the fire. And this kind of like this follow up here kind of leads into sort of that energy that those sorts of features bring, and it's more or less just me asking you, how, as a remote CEO, do you drive culture and accountability across the team? Two things that are distinct, but equally as important in terms of how the company moves forward and gets things done.
Yeah, yeah, it's a really good question. And it's one of the biggest challenges for sure, because when you're not in the same space, you lose that sort of osmosis based information sharing and accountability that just comes from proximity, right? Just being next door to someone. Um, what we found with Rome is, first of all, quick check ins make life so much easier. If I'm looking for something from someone, I can just knock on their door and say, "Hey, asked for this last week. Do you have it?" It's like, "Oh, yeah, here it is. It's right here." Drop it in the chat. Boom, done. So instead of like chasing things down and doing a lot of like async messaging, we can quickly get things moving forward and, yeah, just move the needle on things in a more effortless way. But, as a CEO of a remote company, a lot of my work is making sure that my team has the tools they need to succeed in their roles, resourcing them properly, supporting them properly, and doing that through Rome has been a lot easier. I've discovered a need to keep better tabs, sort of on who's doing what when, right? And are people really focused on the right things? Um, but it can be tempting when you're in this virtual office and yet you're alone, you're in your office at home
Mhm.
or a coffee shop or wherever, but you have this visual interface to interact with your team, to have more meetings than is maybe necessary, because you want that feeling of connection. And one of the things that I've had to be really careful about is not overscheduling team meetings, right? Like, we can have the meeting, but then we also
Yep.
have to go do work.
You mentioned meetings. You're trying to cut down on them as at least as much as you can. Obviously, CEOs probably have more than they'd like to admit, but in general, like, what does your day to day look like? Working remotely does afford you some other things, like you don't have to commute anywhere, so maybe you can use that time wisely somewhere else, or there's all different things that you can do when you work remotely and still be hyper efficient and productive. So, just wondering how your day is kind of generally scheduled.
Yeah. Well, I like, a quiet morning. I try not to jump in too quickly. I use that time for deep work for myself, for a nice cup of coffee with my
Mhm.
partner, just the human things, as well as the quiet time to work on the business, or rather than in the business, which is hard to do unless it's at 5 a.m., right?
Yep.
Um, but most of my day is actually at this point deep work, fortunately, because I have such an amazing team. I'm able to set aside large blocks of time, or actually at this point it's really days worth of time where I don't have any meetings. I'm available. I'm in Rome, my door's not locked or anything, but I'm able to stay focused and I don't get that many interruptions, which has just been wonderful. Absolutely wonderful the last several months with Rome. Then I have a couple days of the week where I've got staffed meetings, usually Mondays and Thursdays for me. I like it that way just so I can prep myself for the right like type of day, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Uh, and then have those large blocks of time or full days otherwise. But a lot of my meetings do happen in Rome. Everyone who joins me after booking into my Rome office is like, "What is this cool tool? Like, I can see these people over here, but we're over here." Like, it's so
Yeah.
funny, the best. And I explain to them it's just this game changer remote work tool. We're a fully remote team, and it replaced all these tools for us, and we love it. So I've been doing a little bit of my own influencing on the side.
Love
Uh,
that. That's great.
but
More
yeah,
influencing the better.
it's
I want
yeah.
to actually dial in on something you said there that I found kind of interesting, which it kind of goes back to Rome, but you mentioned there are days in your week where you're not having much meetings at all, and you're just doing focus work on the business, and you're able to get a lot of things done that are on your list. It is really nice that you do have a platform, and I don't want to sound like I'm self-promoting, but obviously I sort of am, but, like, in
Shoot.
Rome, it's like you're still in the office, you're still with your team, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, I if you let's just compare this to, like, a Zoom Slack world. if that was you and you maybe had no meetings on Monday or Tuesday, it's like, where's Allie? Like, I
Yeah,
don't know. Dude, she's doing CEO things. I haven't seen her. Like you're like this sort of mythological figure, so to
yeah,
speak, right? But in Rome, it's like, oh, she's right there. She's
yeah,
obviously, not meeting with somebody at this moment, but if I need to go talk to her, she's accessible. You're not just a green dot or a red dot or just like maybe on a Zoom call or not. I don't know. I haven't seen her. Like it does kind of give you that sense of presence, even if you're not actually with people, which I think is actually really powerful. And that's what people really like.
yeah, yeah, 1,000%. That is the biggest, sort of subtle perk that has come from it is just knowing that, everyone's there, right? Or they're not, but they've said, like, "I'm out to lunch," or, "I'll be
True.
back
Yeah.
tomorrow, I have a doctor's appointment." Like, just that transparency has been amazing, especially, as the CEO who does love long, deep work blocks where I'm uninterrupted. It may look like I'm missing, "Oh, she's
Yeah.
just
Right.
spa day or something."
Yeah. Yeah.
She's here, she's working, and she's available in an emergency, of course.
Yeah, that's great. Last one here, real simple, but sometimes trips people up because it's kind of shoot from the hip. Describe Rome in 3 words.
The ultimate virtual office? I don't know.
I think that works. That yeah, well, we won't count
Ultimate,
the
you gotta be
ultimate. Ultimate virtual office works. We'll go
yeah,
with that. I like that.
yeah, yeah, I think
uh,
that's a good way to describe it.
That's great. That works for me. Ali, thank you so much. In the spirit of short meetings, we will call it there. I just want to thank you so much for your time. Best of luck with everything with Surge. Can't wait to hear more about you and the team in Rome. I will talk to you there, of course. For everybody else listening, if you enjoyed this conversation, would like to learn more from other leaders around the globe who are leading their teams in a remote environment, please like and subscribe. Other than that, Ali, have a wonderful day.
Thanks. Appreciate you.
Take care. I will see you soon.